Hi, today I'll break down in detail how I made $12,000 while I was sleeping thanks to this beautiful trade on gold. We'll study the plan, the executions, and the psychology of holding day trades for more than one day while managing your risk properly. I'm Moises Altayo, and I've made over $1 million trading at 23. I started this channel with the purpose of sharing the real truth of how the markets really work and show you how to trade the right way to build long-term wealth. I also have the best mentorship in the industry, which you can apply with the first link on the description below. Now let's begin with this incredible trade on gold. There's this beautiful quote that says, "The journey of 1,000 miles begins with a single step." And the first step to any great trade that you will ever do in your life is having a plan. Once you know the plan, once you understand where price is going, everything falls into a certain narrative. And then the entries come to you. It's like everything is happening for a reason. And that is the hardest thing to do. But once you have achieved mastery, and you can always know and see with clarity where price is going, you become a money machine. So let's start with what is this plan on gold, what I was seeing, what was my narrative. And there are several factors that we need to understand. The first one is that gold has been in an obvious uptrend for a while. It has been very bullish for the past year, for this whole year. This is the monthly chart, and it's been going insane. There are also some predictions of Goldman Sachs, which is one of the biggest investment banks, and they are predicting the price of gold for 2025 at $4,500. They increased it from $3,800, which was the first prediction they had. There's also all these wars going on. So gold is strong, uncertainty, fears of recession. Another thing to consider is that if we go to the weekly chart, you can see that we are in a higher time frame range. You can see all these wicks, but the candles tell you always the story. And all these candles are ranging within this candle range. So it's something to keep in mind. But there's something more interesting happening here. And this is the main thing that I was seeing, which made me take this beautiful trade. And the trade is this move that you see right here. I caught the whole move pretty much with two positions. Now, what I was seeing is that on the higher time frame, we're forming this channel right here, which is something that I don't trade. I used to trade in the past when I was losing, but I always see the market through 80% of the traders. And I know that 70% are looking at this. The other 25%, they feel smart because they've studied ICT and they use FBGs and these things, liquidity, but they're still losing. So how are you part of the 5%? How do you follow the footsteps of the market makers, of those who control and move the market? Because they will not move price to their desired direction until everyone who wants to be in that move is out of their positions, or they are on the wrong side of the market. So what I'm seeing here is this range, and then at this high we're forming a head and shoulders pattern, which is very common. Every retail trader trades. Here, false breakout of the neckline. Everyone's shorting here, and the market makers are accumulating their positions, and they send it higher and stop everyone out. This is sort of reverse psychology, right? I try to think what everyone else is thinking, and I do the opposite. Now, the other thing I was seeing is that even if we are on a higher time frame range on the weekly, here we swept these lows. right? This was also a weekly fair value gap. And then we swap these lows, we have this move up, and I was seeing this as a retracement to have another leg up, stopping everyone who was trying to short right here, trying to trade this range, this channel. And the way I was seeing it is that this is a range, and then we take lower time frame liquidity into a higher time frame key level, which is this. There is a 4-hour breaker from the high that dig into the previous low, the liquidity, and the higher time frame weekly FVG. As soon as we break it truly, now this high, this key swing high becomes a breaker, which also aligns with a daily inverse fair value gap. Then we take the liquidity and touching as well the 50% of this price leg from the low that we made of this whole range to the current high, we retrace and then we get the move up. Now, before we go into the lower time frames where you can see my first entry, which was here on this low, I want you to observe this 4-hour chart, because pay attention to this candle. This is the candle that digs into the key level on the 4-hour, and also on the 1-hour is exactly the same. It's a candle that is digging into the key level. We do a false breakout of the low of that specific candle, then close back into the range, and then we move up to the high. And the question here is, do we break this high truly? Or do we break it falsely? Because that's going to make a huge difference into what's happening next. And on this case, you can see we make a true breakout. Now, combining these 1-hour and 4-hour candles, this is the low of the 4-hour and 1-hour candle. What do you see here on the 15-minute? Pay attention to the market structure, right? We form a low into the key level, get a little bounce, also forming sort of a range, and then we do another dig into the key level, sweeping the 1-hour and 4-hour candle low, and then closing back inside. And what happens in here? We break this high truly. Now, as soon as we break this specific high, you can see that I'm always looking at specific candles and specific highs. I'm never drawing random lines, random zones in my chart. I'm using a specific logic and looking at specific things and trying to see something at that specific candle. Right? For example, here we also have a key candle right here that we also break. And as soon as we break this truly, I know and I'm confident that the low is in. Now, I wake up here in London and I see this. And here's where I long. Let me show you now my entry. I think it was this candle right here. You can see it right here, exactly in that candle. I bought one lot. Here's what I was seeing, the key level, also the 4-hour candle range high. We swept the low, expecting the move. We flip the 50% of this specific candle that digs into the key level, and I'm expecting a move now to the high of this candle. And then you can see here straight up from my entry with zero drawdown. My entry was a support. $1,000 in profit here. My best friend Roman was also in. And then the whole Thursday we go up, closing above the 4-hour candle, which is this. It's what I had in my Discord, the 4-hour candle range high. On this high, I'm up $5,500, almost $6,000 from my entry, which is here. And I decided to hold. Now, as soon as I saw that we closed below this specific candle, which is again a 15-minute key candle, we break it truly and then we retest it. So I was expecting a retracement to this low, which is as well a 4-hour FVG. And if we do the 50%, it's also here. since I wanted my bigger target, which was this high, I decided to hold this entry because it was a very good entry, and then add to my position on this retracement to then have a bigger position and make bigger profit, right? Because I could have closed here my trade, make 6K and be happy, right? And then maybe here enter another position to take this trade. However, based on my psychology and knowing myself, I know that I'm more confident adding to this position once I already have a lower position here. And let me show you on the 4 hour what I was looking as well for this retracement. Candle range again. We have the 4 hour key candle, this one, which you can see that we bounce from the 50% of it, right? No random key levels. And then what I was looking was to bounce from the 4 hour FVG, which was also the high of this key candle, and the 50% of this 4 hour candle range right here. However, on the lower time frame on Friday, we just kept going lower. We did a range here for the whole London. Then here we got the news, and we did a false breakout of this high. We never break it truly, which is why we drop again. And where did we drop to? We dropped to the 4 hour candle range low. And here I made a mistake. If you look at my entry, my second entry where it was, you can see that my second entry is here. So I entered at this high. Now, this is a mistake I did. And this mistake made me go from $6,000 in profit up here to $2,000 in drawdown. So here I was minus 2K, right? Now, it was still within my risk, which is why I took this. But I made the mistake. Basically, I had an alert here, and there were the news, and I was driving to the gym, and I got the alert, and I was very confident on this trade because everything I told you, we had the 50% of the candle range, the key candle, the FVG on the 4 hour. So I took this long blindly, basically, while I was driving, and I didn't even look at the chart properly. And then I got to the gym, and we started dropping, and I decided to hold it. I was like, I had a bad feeling as soon as I saw that we didn't break this high. So anyway, a few hours later, I was down $2,000 from $6,000, which is it's pretty crazy. However, I really like this plan, and I really like the long, and especially as soon as we did a false breakout of this, of the 4 hour candle range into the 50% of the key candle. And then I saw that we swept this low and form a key candle here, which we didn't confirm. I started getting more confident. I was more happy. And we ended the week here. This was Friday, the market close. And here I was $500 in profit, right? And then in the market open on Sunday night for me here in Spain, it opened with this gap, and I went from 500 in profit to 2,500 right here, which is when I went to sleep after I saw this. Now, I was thinking adding another position once we break this key candle truly, but I already had some risk. I was $2,000 down, and I was going to sleep, so I decided not to add another, which would have been probably a $20,000 trade if I had to. But it's still completely fine. And while I was sleeping, we continued going up until we hit the target. Here, I woke up when we were on this range, when I was $10,000 in profit. And this was also while I was recording you can see it here. This was also while I was recording the last YouTube video where I made $18,000 in a day. You can see it live that it was quite funny, but I was making, it was almost hitting my target while I was recording the video. And as soon as I recorded finishing the video, I had lunch and I took profit. And that was $12,000. Right here, I close it. 12,300, some swap and commissions for holding the trade. But what a beautiful trade, with some suffering as well, since we got quite a big retracement here, deep retracement, so everyone who is long is afraid of their positions, is afraid to hold their positions, or is afraid to enter again. What I was saying, the market makers never do the real move until everyone is out of their positions who want to get in that move, right? So everyone who wants to long, it wasn't an easy long to enter if you are not in from here, if you don't long at the open of a new week, of a new month as well. And I wanted to show you as well this clip on the opening that I was in a call with one of my students, Devarsh, in a one-to-one. And it was when it opened, which was quite funny, the reaction. Look at the gap, bro. Let's go.
You're crazy.
Oh yeah, that's what he sent me, look. But yeah, look, now break the KC, send this bitch, bro.
That's good, bro. That's good. You're cooking.
Yeah, I'm up 2,500 now. But this is what you get from achieving mastery. You can get these beautiful trades where you make 12K while sleeping in a day, right? I went from $500 in profit to 12K in under 24 hours, which is pretty insane. So yeah, hope you liked the video, that you found it valuable, and that it helped you become a better trader. And remember that you can apply for my mentorship below. You can watch the video by clicking on the link on the description and book a call with me. And I'll see you on the other side. Thank you very much. Subscribe and like, and I'll see you very soon. Bye bye.